let's do our nails for fall. As someone who literally cannot do her own nails, I've done this like once and it didn't turn out the greatest, but that's okay. So first I'm gonna pick out a color. We have lots of colors to choose from. I want like something fall. I'm thinking like a tan brown, maybe maroonish. Yeah, I like this one a lot. This is number B28 in the nail kit. I'll have this nail kit linked below for you guys. First I have to prep, which is trim, file, buff, and clean. So I am going to just file them because I feel like I like the length. Sometimes I like my nails to be longer, sometimes shorter. I really do not like the feeling of filing my nails. I've heard it's good to push your cuticles back before doing your nails. It doesn't say to do that in the steps, but I'm gonna do that. I think that's what this tool is for, I'm guessing. And then lastly, I'm just gonna clean my nails with one of these wipes that comes in the kit. My nails are all prepped now, so I'm ready to start painting them. So first I'm gonna take the base coat, do a layer, put it under the nail lamp, and then do the color, nail lamp, more color, nail lamp, and then top coat, nail lamp, and then just like set the timer. It's nice that these have the timer options. Okay, let's start painting. This is the base coat. It says to do a thin layer. So I'm gonna do this. I think I'm gonna do my whole hand at once. When I first did this, the first time I did one finger at a time. In the meantime, let's do some little story times. I feel like that'd be fun. I do a lot of story times on my TikTok, but I haven't really done any here on YouTube. So I'll just share some random little stories. So first I'll talk about the time that my husband had to do the Heimlich maneuver on me. So we were bowling with family. It was my like 2 uncles, my 2 brothers, and then Isaiah and I think. We got food, we were just all eating, bowling, whatever, you know what you do. And we're all watching my one brother bowl. He's bowling, and Isaiah's sitting like closest to the bowling like lane, and then I'm next to him, so we're both like facing that way. And then I'm just eating my chicken tender, and then all of a sudden like I'm struggling to like get it down, which has happened before when I'm eating. So I'm just gonna be like, oh my gosh, like I just like keep trying to swallow it, and it just wouldn't go down. And I was like, what in the world? And then it got to a point where it's like I have not been breathing for a bit now, and I could just like I was not okay. I was panicking. I start just hitting my husband instead of like doing the proper signals. I'm just like whacking my husband, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, obviously I wasn't talking, but in my head I was like, it's the weirdest feeling not being able to breathe. I've never felt that before, obviously. So he has gotten his EMT license. He's a police officer. He was going to school to be a doctor originally, so he like knows how to do that. He's never had to do it, but immediately he like picked me up and then started doing it, and you know it came out, and I was like, that I never thought I would actually for real choke. So now I can say that my husband literally has saved my life. I'm now doing the color coat, and it says to do a thin layer, which I feel like my mistake last time was I didn't do thin enough layers. So I'm definitely going to be careful to do more thin layers this time. I am definitely loving this color. I feel like it gives the perfect fall vibes. Why is it peeling like that? I think I might have to wipe off my thumb because it's not looking right. Give me just a minute. I'm just realizing I think I was supposed to shake this. I'm going to do that. But I was doing the second coat, and it started making the coat before it all clumpy, and it wasn't smooth at all. So I just completely took off the thumb. This one went okay. So I don't know, maybe part of it was that I was supposed to shake this. I don't know, but also I'm gonna let these dry for a little bit longer. Maybe I should cure it twice as long next time. It's kind of a bummer, but it's fine. We'll fix it. Do another little story time. Let's do my first period story time. So I was 12, and I remember just like one day after school, I went to the bathroom and I noticed some red in my underwear, the toilet, and I was like, oh my gosh. At first I was really scared because I had not been told anything really about it. My parents didn't really talk to me about it. The school, I missed the day where they do that, like talk to you about that stuff, so I had no idea. Like I knew kind of, so I remembered, I was like, oh, I think this is normal. But I thought I was gonna get in trouble. I don't know why I thought I was gonna get in trouble. I was so scared to tell my mom. I was like, she's gonna be so mad at me. So I went and told my mom. I didn't tell anyone that night. I was literally like, if I ignore it, it'll just go away. It never happened, it's fine. So I ignored it, went to school the next day. I just kept going to the bathroom, and at least it wasn't like super heavy and it didn't like leak through my pants, but it was like everywhere in my pants. And I was like, what am I doing right now? So anyway, that day after school, I had to go to gymnastics practice, which I had to walk to the high school for. So after middle school, I like had a ton of like blood, and I was like, I am not gonna be able to do gymnastics. Like it's gonna get everywhere. Like it's already been bleeding through my pants all day. Like it's not gonna stay in there any longer. So I text my mom and I'm like, because I was too scared to like tell her in person, call her. I was like, I'm texting. So I text her, I'm like, I don't know what happened. Like I have blood in my underwear. And I didn't act like it happened last night. I was like, oh, it just happened. So anyway, she's like, oh, like ask someone for a pad or tampon. And I didn't even know, I had never seen one of those before. I didn't know how to use it. So I was like, I'm already shy and awkward. I'm not gonna ask for that. I don't even know how to use those. I'm actually loving how these are turning out. Sorry for interrupting. But so we go to gymnastics. I refuse to ask anyone. I go through the entire gymnastics class, just bleeding through. Don't know if it like actually like showed or anything, but I was just letting it flow. And then after practice, my mom like came and picked me up and she's like, did you get something from someone? I was literally like, no. So she took me to Aldi. I remember Aldi, and we picked out some stuff. And I think I tried using a tampon right away and that did not work well. It took me actually a while to be able to use those. But anyway, that was my first period story time. I was too scared to tell anyone and I thought I was gonna get in trouble. Now I'm gonna put the top coat on. I'm remembering to shake this time. I think I just do one of this and cure it for another 60 seconds. Oops, not the thumb. I gotta go fix that. Thin coats, Julie. I keep doing too much of everything. This next story time is really short but really funny. So I got my wisdom teeth out and then like that night or the next day, like by the time that the loopiness stuff had worn off, I was just thinking to myself, because I hadn't brushed my teeth yet, you know, they were sore, whatever, after getting my wisdom teeth out. And I was talking to my husband, because we'd only been together for like 3 months at that point, but he like was doing all that with me. And I was like, I don't know what to do because I only have an electric toothbrush. Like I don't have any regular toothbrushes here. Like I don't want to brush my sore teeth with my electric toothbrush. And I was not loopy at all. Like I genuinely was like, I just can't use my electric toothbrush. And then my husband says to me, why don't you just not turn the toothbrush on? Oh my gosh, like that's just how smart I am. Like what was I thinking? I'm feeling really confident because I feel like the first hand went very well other than the thumb. So I hope I still, but I don't know, this hand's gonna be harder because this is my left hand that's doing it. We'll see. My foot is going so numb with how I'm sitting. Like why am I doing this on the floor? Base coat's done. We'll cure this. I think I'm gonna start curing everything for a little bit longer than it says to, just because I feel like I want it to be extra dry so another little mishap like the thumb doesn't happen again. Let's do the story time of the time I almost like crashed on an electric scooter. So my husband and I were in Nashville, Tennessee. It was literally like a week after the wisdom teeth story actually. We were in Nashville and we had never ridden on electric scooters, but they have like electric scooters and bikes and stuff around, you know, so people can get around, so it's like normal. So we were visiting my sister and that's how we were just traveling because it's easier than trying to drive on those busy roads. So we had the electric scooters, which first of all, those were terrifying to me, but I was like, whatever, it's fine. And then we were doing it, I started to get a little more confident with it, but I was still like petrified, like I was scared. And let's do it a little longer. I was a little scared, we were riding around, and then at one point I see my sister, no, I think Isaiah was first, so he went over this little bump like in the road, and then my sister went over the little bump, and then I was behind them, and then I saw the bump, and I was like, they went over it, like it's fine, but then I was like, no, I'm gonna like crash. So instead of stopping the scooter, just going over the bump like they did, I decided to jump off the scooter. That in that couple seconds I had to think, that's what I thought was the smartest idea. And mind you, for the electric scooters, you ride it like on the side of the road. Like you're not on the sidewalk, you're next to all these cars. I'm gonna shake this a little more. And so I jump off, which goes like into the road. Like there's cars. Busy Nashville, there's so many cars, we're on a busy road. And I remember like a car honked at me and then people were like driving by and everyone's like, are you okay? Like as I'm like, I had just fallen off, jumped off and whatever, the scooter, like what was I doing? So that was interesting. And then after that I refused to ride those anymore. So we walked everywhere for the rest of our vacation. I was like, I am not doing that again. Poor Isaiah and my sister, like, yeah, probably not gonna ride those ever again. That was scary. The last time I did these gel nails, I did white and they lasted for I'd say about 2 weeks until one kind of like chipped. And then I just started picking at all of them. Realistically, I could have just fixed the one finger and they would have lasted longer, but I just decided to start picking them all off. Let's do one more story time. I'll do the story time of how my husband and I met, which is a little bit longer, but I'll try to like not ramble too much. So if you do not know, my husband and I got married at 19 and 20. I was 19, he was 20, and we met on Tinder. So before I was even on Tinder, like I was just living my life, and then I was like, I want a guy, but I like got it as a joke. I didn't think I was gonna match with anyone, meet up with anyone, marry the person I meet on there. Like genuinely, I was like, let's just see what's on this app, because you know, I'm 18 and I don't know what I'm doing. So I downloaded the app, and then Isaiah was the first person I think I matched with and that messaged me. Like I didn't message anyone else on there, and or go on any dates from anyone else with anyone else from there. So we matched, and he messages me a cute little message, and I loved his like little caption or whatever you call it on Tinder. It was something like, if we can't have fun doing dishes and going grocery shopping, I don't want it. And I was like, I love that. So yeah, and then at the time he was living like 2-ish hours away from me, but he happened to be traveling through where I lived, or near where I lived, like within the next week. So he was like, oh, do you want to meet up? And at first I was like, meet up with someone I met online? Like I'm literally crazy. Like I was like, I'm not doing it. But I was like, no, I want to, like why not? So I literally met up with him, got into his car when he came to get me. Random guy, didn't really know. We had talked for a little bit, but obviously like we didn't have a ton of time to talk before that. So no, is it happening again? Why is it doing that? I don't know if you're gonna be able to tell, but it's just like starting to, why is it always the thumb? Okay, now I'm scared to do the other one, so let's carry it a little bit longer. I don't know if that helps or not. I just I'm nervous. I don't want the other ones to get messed up too. So yeah, we meet up, and on our first date we went mini golfing, and then his idea was to like drive around. So he drove us around, we talked, and then his idea was also to go to the grocery store, get some snacks, and go watch the sunset. I was like, that is so cute of him. So we go to the grocery store, get a bunch of snacks, and then we drove around for a long time figuring out where to watch the sunset, because I never watched the sunset. Like obviously I love watching the sunset, but I never had time to do that, so I had no idea where a good spot was to do that. And he obviously wasn't from there, he had no idea either. So we were just driving around for a hot minute trying to figure out where to watch the sunset. And we finally found a good spot, and we parked, and then I think we like had a blanket in the car, so we put that in the back and got all our snacks ready. And I remember I was so nervous, because like it's the first date, that I did not eat any of the snacks that we got. Like I was like, I don't know, when I get nervous, like I'm like just can't eat anything. So I didn't eat hardly anything. I felt bad because we just had picked out so many snacks. But we watched the sunset. It was so cute. We literally, from the time that we were like in there, and then also when we were just driving around, we talked so much. We talked about literally everything under the moon, even like topics of like how many kids we want, what religion are we gonna raise our kids, because we both were like in a spot where like we wanted to settle down and get married. So it's like, why waste our time with someone who we wouldn't be compatible with? So we like figured out everything right away, literally first date. And then he took me back, and then I went home, and I was sad that it was over. And then I waited to see if he would text me, because I didn't want to seem like needy, like oh like whatever. And he messaged me pretty quick. He was like, oh, I had so much fun, and the rest was history. We got married a little more than a year later. So anyway, this is how we're looking. Not too bad. I'm not really mad, just the thumbs. I don't know why that happened for both. So I'm gonna go fix those quick, and then I'll come back and show you the final results. I just finished my nails. I'm actually so happy with how they turned out. They're not perfect, but I think they're better than I did last time, and I love the color. If you guys want to see more videos, or maybe I'm just doing my nails and chatting with you guys, let me know. And then also, if you're able to like this video and subscribe, it'd mean a lot to me.